Welcome back to CryptosRus. I'm George. We're all George. So, what's going on with BlackRock and Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, who seems to be all in on Bitcoin these days? And he said some remarkable things that I want to share with you guys tonight. And also what else is going on with Bitcoin, with other cryptos in the space. Let's discuss. So, jumping right in, Bitcoin didn't move. Still 30,400. That's okay. That's okay. But you can clearly see that we are holding very, very strong. Getting ready for the next leg up. An entire crypto market cap kind of hanging in there. Some red, some green, but overall still clinging on right around 1.19 trillion market cap. That's not too shabby. But just wait until we get billions upon billions of dollars being injected into the space. It's coming, especially when this guy right here is saying all the right things right now, including how Bitcoin can revolutionize finance, okay? And he said more than that. We do believe, to quote, that if we can create more tokenization of assets and securities, that's what Bitcoin is. It can revolutionize finance, okay? He continues on and says, instead of investing in gold as a hedge against inflation, a hedge against the erroneous problems of any one country or the devaluation of your currency, whatever country you're in, let's be clear, Bitcoin is an international asset. It's not based on any one currency, so it could represent an asset that people can play as an alternative. Basically, saying more good things, that Bitcoin is not just a U.S. thing, international, and rather than invest in gold, you should invest in Bitcoin. That's very bullish. Very bullish from the CEO of the largest asset manager on the planet. And of course, this may be the reason why BlackRock has filed for a spot Bitcoin ETF. Okay, and they're not the only one. There's many, many, many others. But also, let's take a look at this interview. It's also very interesting.
Aliens in like a faraway portion.
This interview is also very interesting. Larry Rock has also said some other bullish things. Let's listen to this real quick.
And also, I do believe the role of crypto is it's digitizing gold in many ways. Instead of investing in gold as a hedge against inflation, a hedge against the onerous problems of any one country, or the devaluation of your currency, whatever country you're in. Let's be clear. Bitcoin is an international asset. It's not based on any one currency, and so it can represent an asset that people can play as an alternative. I would call the foundation of BlackRock is about hope. You invest for retirement because you believe tomorrow is better than today.
I don't know about the last part about BlackRock is known for giving hope. I don't know. It's known for taking hope away. But in case you guys didn't know, BlackRock is also a major shareholder of MicroStrategy, which may be the reason why Michael Saylor tweeted this, and because this is very bullish on Bitcoin. Basically, you got the largest asset manager along with several other fund managers and asset managers. They are all in a race to come out with their own Bitcoin spot ETF. Okay? Again, a lot of people don't understand the difference between a futures ETF, which exists now, and a spot Bitcoin ETF, which actually forces these guys to hold Bitcoin. They actually need to hold it. Rather than futures, you don't need to do that at all. Okay? Look at how many is pending now. Most of these had to resubmit because of SEC, because Gary Gensler wants to screw things up. But just look at it. You got ARK, okay, you got BlackRock, Bitwise, Van Eyck, Wisdom Tree, Invesco, and Galaxy Digital, Fidelity, and Valkyrie. Okay, all pending right now. And guess what? They're all using Coinbase. Well, as a surveillance partner. Yes, they're all using Coinbase as a surveillance partner, but also many of them are using it as a custodian, which is why Coinbase stock has been so hot recently. Okay, so bottom line is billions upon billions upon billions will be flowing in due to these spot ETFs, and I do believe one or all will be approved later this year. When BlackRock gets serious, when Larry Fink gets very bullish, you know he already pulled some strings, okay? And Gary probably has to cave, has to let this go. And also ETFs, in case you're wondering, what do they offer? Daily proof NAV, transparent holdings, transparent prices, liquidity, easy tax documents, standard investor protections. Again, this is if you're not into Web3, if you're not into self-custody and you have to rely on a centralized entity, well, the ETFs make sense. For a lot of these big boys, ETFs make sense. For the rest of us, buying Bitcoin makes more sense than buying spot Bitcoin ETF. But for a lot of these institutions that don't want to deal with self-custody, don't want to deal with safeguarding their own crypto, they could care less about decentralization or governance, stuff that are important in Web3. They just go buy spot Bitcoin ETF. But, you know, the side effect is it takes Bitcoin out of the exchanges, out of circulation, drives demand higher, drives prices higher. So we'll take it. We'll take it for sure, right? And speaking of exchange balances, continues to plummet, keeps going lower and lower and lower. And that inflection point that came in 2020, why did that happen? That's when institutions started accumulating. Who knows? BlackRock may have been accumulating since then, because Larry Fink's been talking about Bitcoin for years now, saying it looks interesting. We're going to start dabbing into it. We're going to start testing it, right? Who knows? Maybe they have been hoarding since then, and maybe they have over 1 million Bitcoins. I hope that's not the case. Okay, we don't want BlackRock to hold such a large number, but, you know, who knows? Who knows? BlackRock seemingly controls a lot of stuff, markets, and pulls the strings. So who knows if they've been in it for a long time, right? Who knows? But anyways, they're not the only one. There's just so many institutions, right, that are very, very bullish on Bitcoin, continue to be more and more bullish, I would argue, because of BlackRock and because of everything else that's going on, overshadowing everything that Gary has done to try to scare the bejesus out of people, scare the market, scare Congress, scare everyone. Despite his best efforts, has done nothing, okay? Bitcoin holders are stronger than ever. Institutions are still trying to jump in. And from a technical standpoint, Bitcoin is looking pretty darn good. According to MAGS, historically, the first point of rejection of a BTC is when the price tests the midline of the Dogecoin channel. Okay, which in this case is around $37,000, which makes sense because in July, traditionally, Bitcoin goes up about 20%. So from our 30,000 point, that's about 36. That midpoint is about 37. That actually lines up pretty well. We may see 36 or 37,000 by the end of this month. And by the end of this year, even if we end around the same place, around 40,000, 45,000 by the end of the year, that would still be pretty fantastic as we get closer to having an event. And then afterwards, that's when the parabolic phase starts, right? So to show you where we are in this cycle, you could see bottom left-hand side says you are here, right? We're coming up to the halving, looking at previous halvings and the parabolic phase that comes afterwards. I mean, just look at the multipliers, right? 539x, 112x, 106x, 21x, 18x, 6x, right? Whatever it may be this time around, there's going to be a multiplier. A big multiplier. Maybe not 539 times, but a good 6 times, a good 10 times, right? We'll take that. And if Bitcoin is going to get these kind of multipliers, imagine what Ethereum and Cardano and Solana and all the Avalanche and Polygon, what kind of multipliers they will see. Oh, let's not forget XRP. XRP is waiting for $589. Is it finally going to come this time around? Who knows? Who knows? Michael Saylor also tweeted this. Okay, S&P 500 versus Bitcoin performance. That's when MicroStrategy came in. When Saylor went all in on Bitcoin, 161% growth versus 33% growth. So, seems to be the right path, right choice, right? So good. Rich says he's streaming me while at Disneyland. Wow. Well, I'm glad I'm more important than your family vacation, but because who cares about family, right? They're just annoying. And then I missed a super chat before from Team McDaniels. What do you think about crypto gaming industry? It will definitely pick up. I've spoken to many up-and-coming games that look fantastic from some of the biggest game makers out there from traditional 2.0. So there's going to be a lot of stacked games coming up in the future. All right, now outside of Bitcoin, what about everything else? Well, there's another L2 for Ethereum that's gaining popularity called Starknet. Starknet is, again, another L2. There's a lot of L2s out there. Okay, obviously Arbitrum, you guys have heard of Optimism. Look at ZK Sync. ZK Sync is up there too. And then you have like Immutable. I don't know why Immutable X and dYdX are listed on there. But Starknet is also another one, right? Starknet is relatively small, but they are competing and growing by leaps and bounds. That's why their Quantum Leap allows them to hit triple figures for TPS, which is fantastic. But look at the activity. It is now skyrocketing, right? So pretty darn good. And here are some of the projects that support Starknet, right? So again, there's a lot of things that's being worked on right now, okay? A lot of things being worked on, including dYdX, which is an exchange that currently is on Ethereum, but they decided, hey, they want to move, okay? In fact, dYdX wants to move to Cosmos. So that's interesting. Just this morning I was talking about Osmosis being kind of like the only DEX within Cosmos. Now they're going to get some competition. So dYdX is launching their testnet on Cosmos, and after that, obviously, the main net, right? But there is going to be some competition. So good for them. Honestly, I'd never used them before, but a lot of people have. Look at the holders, just continues to skyrocket, right? So that's pretty positive as well. So there's a lot of projects building right now that look to be in really good shape. Just building and building and building. And when the bull market comes, they're all in a really good shape to explode higher. And that's what you want to see. Last two things. Twitter receives money transmitter licenses in 3 U.S. states. Okay, Michigan, Missouri, and New Hampshire. So that's pretty good. But what do they need that for? What is Elon up to? Don't know. But is he going to transform Twitter into something else, or build in some crypto functionality or remittance functionality? I don't know, fiat on-ramp, off-ramp functionality. Maybe something, give some love to Doge. Maybe that's coming. I don't know. But a lot of people, including myself, is waiting for this fight between Elon and Zuck. Okay, when is it going to happen? We need to hear about it. But I know they're both training, which is absolutely fantastic. And lastly, Jim Cramer. We know that inverse Cramer is never wrong. And Jim Cramer thinks that he is always right. So I don't think I need to play this clip, but basically, to sum up, Jim Cramer thinks Zuck is doing really well. Instagram is a really terrific product, and Twitter is awful. Even though Jim Cramer tweets like 10 times a day, he thinks it's awful. So right now, he's betting on Zuck. So inverse Cramer would tell you to bet on Elon and bet on Twitter rather than Instagram and Facebook, but we'll see. We'll see what the outcome of the fight and what that does. Maybe that's go change the landscape. All right, guys. That's pretty much it. Overall, like I said, pretty quiet day, but still a lot of good things happening. And tonight, I think it's Wednesday, right? It is Wednesday. So tonight is DCA day. I already have this up. This week, not a whole lot. I looked at 1 week movement. It was actually, I think I'm logged out. Yeah, this is not updating. Hold on 1 second. Let me refresh this. Yeah, it logged me out. Hold on. When I was looking at it, up about 2-3%. So not a whole lot of movement. Here we go. So 1 week, yeah, about 2.58% for the month. Up about 5%. So slow and steady recovery. Overall, down about 30%. We were a little bit better, like I think I'm minus 25, 24%, right? But we will get back in the green, and we will continue higher. But today I got to decide what to DCA. You know, I'm feeling a little degen today, so I've been DCAing a lot into big caps like Bitcoin and Ethereum and Cosmos and Phantom. You know, things that I should be DCAing into, but you know, maybe I just feel like being a degen today, so maybe I just go a little wild and DCA into things that I normally wouldn't DCA into. For example, maybe I should put some more into Pepe. Pepe's been really hot recently. I don't know if that's a good idea. But, I mean, there's some smaller projects that haven't really moved, but they could, obviously. You know, I just talked about dYdX. What else is on page 2 that looks promising? A lot of people talking about Bone from Sheeb, right? I just talked about Osmosis. They're getting some competition. Kusama, a testnet chain for Polkadot. Not a whole lot of people talking about them. Helium, which has moved to Solana recently. Audius. I think they moved to Solana too. Arweave, you know, decentralized storage. I mean, Fetch AI and AI. I mean, there's some good ones. Cadena is still there. Flux is still there. I don't know. I don't know if it's the time to be DCAing into those. Let's see. See, I do have some Pepe here. Cadena, Injective, Gala, Sheeb, Arbitrum, Avalanche. Avalanche I'm a little light in. I like Avalanche a lot. I have VeChain here, Solana, Cardano, even XRP. No, I'm not gonna be DCA into Harmony anymore. I've heard too many bad things about them, so I'm kind of off the Harmony bandwagon. Someone says XRP will go ballistic soon. You know, there's actually a few small caps that I love to DCA into right now, but I just feel like this is not the right time. They're not going to be recovering nearly as fast as some of these guys. So you know what I'm just going to do? I'm going to, yeah, I think I'm going to DCA into some of these smaller plays. And they're not that small, but for example, Arbitrum, I'm kind of light in right now. Okay, Avalanche, I'm kind of light. And then, you know what? I'll throw some love at at Ethereum. I haven't done Ethereum for a while. Ethereum actually has been doing pretty well recently. So I'm going to split it 3 ways, guys. 3 ways. Let's do some Ethereum first. So about $33 into Ethereum. 1908. So that's about 0.01729. All right, and then let's do some Avalanche. Let's add transaction. Let's do $33 by 12.673. So 2.6. And then, what did I say, Arbitrum? The Arbitrum have not DCA'd into them in a while, so I think they're pretty good too. $33 by 1.115. So 29.596. All right. So this time around, some mid caps, okay? But you know what? When the timing gets better, when we obviously see more of a trend shift towards alts from Bitcoin, which may not come until like later this year or 2024. When that time comes, I'm going to DCA heavier into alts. But right now, or I mean the small cap alts, but right now it's more like the big caps, mid caps, and of course Bitcoin. You can't go wrong with Bitcoin. All right, that's it for this week. Let's do some Q&A. All right, let's see here. Elon used to run PayPal, so he knows how money works, according to Chris. Yeah, that is true. Let's see. Theta. You know what? I have not heard about Theta in a long time. Their decentralized streaming platform. I don't know if anyone uses Theta.tv. At one point in time, they were trying to branch out into NFT marketplace, and they got Katy Perry. But I always had a time working with a team because, to me, they always had a very small team, and it didn't quite make sense versus their market caps. I don't know what happened to Theta, to be honest. I'll have to look more into them. Someone says I'm going to buy Pepe. You know, Pepe pumps and dumps like no other. Kyle Davis says, Avalanche to the moon. You should see my ITrustCapital account right now. Awesome. Moron Riot. Well, those are stocks, not crypto. Let's see. Are we in a bull run? Yes. Yes. As long as we're not in crypto winter, we're in a bull run. But very early stages of one. When do you think Peter Schiff will ever admit he was wrong? Probably never. At this point, he can't. That's his business. That's his stick, which is to be a naysayer. You can't change. What the heck does Jim Cramer know about fighting? He doesn't even know about finance. He wasn't talking about fighting. He was just, I was making an analogy there. But I would argue he doesn't know much about finance either or picking stocks. But you know what? We all have our bad days, right? I made some bad calls, right? But you know what? You got to move past. Learn from your mistakes, move past it, and continue to DCA and HODL and move forward. That's all we can do. We know approximately how many Bitcoins on exchanges, but does that include OTC? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. Larry Fink pushing BTC makes me want to sell and leave the space. Does not pass the smell test. You can be a contrarian and make that argument and leave, but I hope you don't. I hope you don't. Snack released the energy drink. Snack Energy, I bought a case. You know what energy drink has surprised me? All the kids, like my 2 kids, all they talk about is Prime. So I know with Prime, there's 2 kind of drinks. There's like a energy drink, and then there's like a hydration drink. So I decided to buy a case at Costco. Okay, and my kids actually didn't like the flavors. There was like 3 flavors, but you know what? At first I didn't like it, but I got addicted to it. So I think it's pretty good. 20 calories, looks healthier than normal hydration drinks. I don't know. Just throwing that out there. I don't know if the Snack Energy drink is going to be as good. And I think that's just more of a marketing thing, but just to throw out there in case you guys care. Sui. Your thoughts on Sui? I don't know too much about Sui other than they're throwing money around left and right now. Well, that's what they're doing. I talked to a few game makers that have all been promised grants, huge grants, to come to their chain. In fact, a lot of these chains like Aptos and Sui and some of these newer ones, they're paying out huge amounts of money for projects to move over simply to provide them volume. Because a lot of these projects are like dead chains. They really don't have much volume. So they're desperately seeking volume. So they're throwing out big money right now. Sui is one of them. But as for the technology or team, I'm not too familiar with them. AD says Pepe is king. Well, we'll see in this next bull run. Can they surpass Sheeb? I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's unlikely. Okay. Just like people thought Sheeb was going to surpass Doge. Even me, at one point, I thought it was possible, right? Come the next bull run, maybe it will happen. Doge has absolutely nothing going on right now. Sheeb has something. Pepe, they have the momentum. Can Pepe catch up? I don't know. It's either going to go to the moon or go to zero. But I think at this point right now, I would argue leaning more towards moon. Am I still a fan of Gala games? Yes. I know they've been decimated price-wise, but I still do like them. I mean, there's not a lot of gaming platforms, to be honest, within the crypto space. They're still the biggest. They're going to be in Vegas with me, along with many others. We'll have a good conversation to see what's going on, right? Most projects don't want to talk about price, right? They're like, we don't concentrate on price. We will continue to move forward, and that's the right call. But at some point you have to be cognizant of that or recognize that, right? So we'll see, but I still think that they're the biggest. Wolves. Hey there, mate. Much respect. Love your tone and neutrality of your content. Yeah, obviously for crypto, but you don't hype or FUD. I appreciate that. Thank you. That is what I try to do. I don't try to spread a lot of FUD. Sometimes I warn and people say that's FUD. Well, I showcase the news, connect the dots, right now, bring education to the masses. And, I want to see everyone succeed and make a boatload of money. Have I heard of Meld? Yes, I have. In fact, I'm talking to them. They want to be a crypto bank. Not only for on and off ramp, but really allow you to lend your crypto, okay, for fiat, basically. You're borrowing fiat with your crypto collateral. So that's why they're different. They're actually getting a banking license. I don't know if you guys know this, but I think most of you guys do because they'll get recommended. But I'm going to bring my other channel up. Because I feel like a lot of you guys don't know this channel exists, but I have a clips channel, okay? Almost 23,000 subscribers. In case you guys didn't know, clips is like just taking short versions or short clips of my live streams and putting that out there. So a lot of people complain, I don't have time to tune in live stream, it's too long, this and that. Every clip on Clips channel is like 8 minutes or less. Okay, so in case you guys didn't know, go check it out. But the Clips channel is picking up momentum. It's doing very well. And, in case you guys didn't know, go check it out. Why wouldn't you want that on this channel? Funnel all the views and engagement into one basket? Well, for this reason, because again, I don't want to put short and long-term content, short form and long form content on one channel because it screws up the algorithm, in my opinion, and screws up notifications. Because people on this channel, my main channel, they get a notification, they know I'm going to live stream, right? But if it starts mixing up with different kind of content, then people get confused or people get turned off or people don't tune in as much as they should, and then it screws up the algorithm. That's why I separated it. That's why you have all short form clips on the Clips channel, right? That's why it's called Clips, and long form live streams on this channel. And so far it's working. So. There's a strategy to everything, right? Like people that get big, and I'm not even that big on YouTube compared to like all these other content creators are in the millions of subscribers, but no one gets there by accident. I think people just don't know that. People think that, channels get big by accident and now they're making boatloads of money. Nothing's by accident. As competitive as YouTube is, it's the single platform everyone wants to get big on. There is nothing gets done by accident. It's all strategy. There's a lot of things at play. That's what separates channels. Jesse said, I'm grateful with Bitcoin and I hope it brings out the truth of what it is going. The truth of what is really going on is probably stranger than fiction. Yes. Ed, I already shared my insight into Melt. I can't share any more insight, so you don't have to keep begging for it. Ron says, I just discovered your Clips channel not 20 minutes ago. Awesome. What's funny is my Clips channel is now pulling in enough views to justify as like a top 10 crypto channel. I was searching all these views on all these other crypto channels of like people you guys heard of before. Besides the big players, most channels are not doing that well. My Clips channel is actually doing better. So it's actually quite amazing. I'm excited to see it grow. I like exhaustive shows. I mean, see, that's my point. Some people like long shows, some people don't. Some people complain my shows are too long, right? I always argue you don't have to stay for Q&A. Just watch the first half and go off with the day. But some people complain, right? And I still like to do more kind of content. I'm always learning. I'm always looking at new other content creator outside of crypto, trying to learn from like Mr. Beast and all these other guys, right? All these tips and tricks that they do, which I feel like I know, but I can't implement because I'm doing a live stream. They're not. And they're doing, you know, funny content or entertaining content, not news-based content, which is very different, right? So I'm trying to blend in new things that I've learned to help, but it's a challenge. It's a challenge. Rhino X, thank you. I appreciate that. And Stoned Out, I also appreciate that. Thank you. Attention span these days is mostly extremely short. Yes, because of TikTok. And I did tell you guys, I get addicted to TikTok all the time too. Once you go down that rabbit hole, you like can't stop watching. But I am going to have a contest. I told you guys, I'm going to create this contest specifically to drive more engagement to TikTok and also to Twitter, because those are two places I really struggle at right now. And it's going to be a big giveaway, a huge giveaway. I think you guys will enjoy it. I think most people enjoy giveaways and free money. So that's coming up soon. So make sure you follow my TikTok and Twitter too. Nathan, appreciate that. I do. All right. That's pretty much it. Hey, 2 big super chats in a row, Nathan and Cal. When's the next DC? I just did it. Today. It's every Wednesday night. I try to do it every Wednesday night. Pretty consistent. $100 every single week. Crypto moves fast, so the guys that record videos are often late with current news. That's true. And I stream twice a day for that reason. So no one streams at night. I'm like the only guy that streams at night. So I catch all the major news from the afternoon, right? And then others basically copy what I say at night. And then they talk about it in the morning, right? So I think a lot of you guys that watch multiple channels will notice that because they don't stream at night. And I don't know why. They should be, but they don't. Anyways, that's all. Overall, BlackRock, Larry Fink is very, very bullish. Very bullish, like all-in bullish on Bitcoin, right? So that means billions upon billions upon billions of dollars is coming in soon. So stay strong, stay focused, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.